Yes, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. A great win for Tottenham Hotspur in Europe. Still people complain, but it's going to happen, isn't it? Great win for Tottenham Hotspur. So we're going to be looking back at that. We're going to be looking back at some of the comments from Romero, from Archie Gray. We'll look at some of the comments from Thomas Frank. We will also have a look at who are our possible next opponents. Also, I don't want to be that guy, but just reminding everyone that we are 29 days into a 33-day transfer window. And it looks like Strand Larsen has signed for Crystal Palace. The deal is 45 plus 5, I think, which is, I mean, he's not for me, but listen, hey, let's see what Palace get out of him. Reports this morning, again, Alex Crook of TalkSport, again, it depends on how much you want to believe, has said that Spurs putting in a bid for Sterling isn't totally out of the question. I'll let that sit with you guys. I just think it's funny at this stage. I just think we can't even be mad. We'll see. We'll see what happens on that one. Other than that, we are in a transfer window. Will anyone leave? Does Radu Dragashin leave the building? He's not getting game time. His agent talks a great game, doesn't he? In Radu, someone said to me the other day, in Radu Dragashin's agent's mind, he should be starting centre-half of Real Madrid. Well, having watched a little bit of Real Madrid last night and how they defend, maybe Radu Dragashin should be playing for Real Madrid. But we will see, right? We will see. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, when it's the Spurs, yeah. Listen, I feel like this is really pedantic. Why would we bid? Well, loads of clubs might go in for him. You've still got to bid for the player, right? You've got to approach the player and bid for him. Different wages, different terms. I mean, come on, I don't want to have to give a lesson on how transfers work, surely. But listen, that's one reporter saying it, isn't it? That's one person saying it. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. But it's Tottenham. It's Tottenham, right? None of us, as I said to you yesterday, none of us would be surprised, would we? And this is the problem with this club. None of us would be surprised if that transfer happens. None of us would be surprised if no transfers happen. It is what it is. And thank you very much. Really, really enjoyed last night's show, by the way. Really enjoyed it. When Spurs win, it's so much nicer on YouTube. There's no trolls. There's no trolls anywhere. It's lovely. I'm sure this morning we'll get the trolls. I'm sure. I noticed no one's seen Matt. Where's Matt gone? Where's Matt gone? Spurs win a game. Matt's nowhere to be seen. Marios was nowhere to be seen last night. Today he'll be back in here going Frank out. Just pretty funny, isn't it? Pretty funny behaviour. But look, there's a lot going on at Spurs at the moment. Big game against Man City at the weekend. Champions League qualification into the knockout phases. Transfer window is open. It's never dull, is it? It's never dull at Tottenham. That thing can be said with certainty. We're never, ever dull. Now, where shall we begin? Let's have a look at last night. What a really good performance. A really good performance from Tottenham from start to finish. I think we completely dominated the game. I thought we controlled it. There were two moments, one in the first half, one in the second half, where they got behind our back four. Other than that, I thought we were in complete control. I thought that we just dominated. We just dominated from start to finish. And then, unfortunately, I get sent loads of these pictures of people on YouTube, on X and other platforms saying things like, oh, horseshoe football, lots of sideways. You do realize that when a team parks the bus like Frankfurt did, it is very, very difficult. Right? Hang on. Oh, is it my front door about to go? Oh, yeah, it is. But I think the wife's getting it. She's working. 1 second. Yeah, when a team when a team put 10 men behind the ball, you can't just outright attack them. You've got to find the gaps. You've got to find the spaces. They had 3 centre halves. They had the 2 fullbacks pushed into a back 5, and then the 5 sat in front of them. And that's really difficult to break down, whoever you are. So I thought we played really well. I thought we played really, really well. I thought there were some really good performances from players. I think that Xavi Simons for me was absolutely superb. But Romero, after the one, obviously he had his one mistake in the game. Other than that, I thought he was excellent. Danso for me didn't put a foot wrong. Again, Danso for me, I think does so well and does not get the credit he deserves. He just does not get the credit he deserves, Danso. I genuinely think that he always performs, doesn't he? He always performs well for Tottenham. Oh, hair's a bit messy there. He always performs well. And yet people, don't rate Danso. Oh, I do. I think he's a good, solid Premier League defender. And you need that. You need that in your squad. He's brilliant in the air. You know what? I actually don't think he's as bad on the ground as people say. I actually think he looks quite composed. So for me, I think he's been here a year now, Danso. I think he's had some really good games for Tottenham. He's built like a brick wall. He's great in the air. And that is why I think they might be okay with letting Radu Dragusin leave in the last few days. Now, this is just a hunch I've got. It just feels like that might be one to go out. You've got Byfield, who's coming into the fray. If we do go to a back 3, which we have been doing lately, and I like it because it's a fluid back 3, isn't it? It's a fluid back 3 where, it's not an out and out, we're playing 3 at the back. It was Paulinho kind of dropped in, didn't he? And then when we were defending, Spence and Udogie got back into a 4 and Paulinho helped make it a 5. So I thought that was really good. And, we had a lot of chances. We had a lot of chances against Burnley. Couldn't take our dinner. We had a lot of chances last night. It easily could have been 4 or 5 in both games, couldn't it, to Tottenham? And I think there's some positives there. Just think that if we could just add just some more firepower, if we can just add some more firepower, I've got no doubt in my mind that Spurs will go up that table. I've got no doubt about that. It's just how many games can we miss so many chances? How many games can we not create? I think that if we add that, I think we could quite quickly go up that Premier League table. Look, he was asked last night, wasn't he? Thomas Frank was asked by, quickly, Savva, get there, Owen Hargreaves, wasn't he? He was asked by Owen Hargreaves after the game, and he said, look, is this a blueprint for you? And I think Thomas Frank's answer was, look, we're playing about with it. He didn't say it in these words, but he's almost saying, look, we're trying different things. We're looking at different ideas. We've been looking at ways to progress the ball up the pitch. And that's what fans wanted, right? Fans wanted to find ways to progress the ball up the pitch. He's finding ways to do that. And look, we've got to keep going. Tough game on Sunday. Really, let's be brutally honest. This is Man City who are going to be trying to chase down Arsenal in a title race. So this is a big game for them. This is a big game for us. But let's be brutally honest. Let's be brutally honest. The players have got to turn up. They've got to put in a show. Now, I'll be honest, if you offered me a point right now, I'll take it. I do. This is not an easy game, but we'll talk about Man City a little bit later. Look, it's different, isn't it? Lots of things I saw last night were, why can't we play like that in the Premier League? And I think, it's slightly different. When you looked at how Borussia Dortmund played last Wednesday, whatever day it was, Tuesday, and then when you looked at how Frankfurt played yesterday, Borussia, very different teams, weren't they? Dortmund and Frankfurt. Dortmund were very much open at the back. They were very much open, so it allowed Spurs on the counter-attack last week. Then you looked at last night. When you looked at last night, it was very much right. Everyone behind the ball, break us down. 2 very different ways, but both systems allow you to have the football. Both ask different questions, but both allow you to have the football. Now, what we see that the Premier League's more hectic for me. I don't care about all this judging leagues against each other. I don't care about that. I mean, it's just, I don't care, right? But the Premier League's more hectic. It's more end to end. You know, when you watch an Italian game, it's a bit more methodical, right? An Italian game, more methodical. The Spanish game is more technical. When you watch the English game, it's a million miles per hour, isn't it? End to end, basketball like. And I don't know that we've got the players for that. And what I mean by that is with that, you need someone in the middle of the park who can dictate your play. You need someone that can turn that transition of winning the ball to starting the playoff. When you play it in games like last night, you don't need that ball playing midfielder because you can progress the ball through midfield relatively easy. So yesterday, they were allowing Danso, Paulinho, and Romero to come right into their half, bring the ball with them. And what that meant is everyone else can then go out wide or up top and start playing. When you have a game where it's a bit more end-to-end, you kind of need that guy, don't you? That ball-playing number 8 sits in the middle of the park that can dictate, yeah? That can dictate. That's what you need. But look, it was a very impressive performance last night. Again, as I said, thought that we should have beaten Burnley as well. But lack of goals is a concern, which was really nice to see Kolo Muani get his goal. I mean, he couldn't miss, but it doesn't matter. Right place, right time. That's all that counts. And a really nice finish from Dominic Solanke. Really nice finish. Now, can we continue that vein of form across the Premier League? Now, I don't know is the answer to that question. Going to be a very different game. What we do know is that Man City will allow you some space on the ball. We know that, right? Now, they're going to be very different to Frankfurt. So whilst they're going to allow the Man City style of play will dictate that you will get the ball. When they have so much of the ball, Man City, but there will be moments where they are wide open and you can get in behind. Now, it's all about whether or not, if we do that, can we be clinical in that final third? And this is where I would just like in this transfer window, a little bit of support from the board to the manager, to the team, to the club, whoever, to give some more clinical players in that area. Unfortunately, Muani, I know Muani got his goal, but Muani from open play, like from when he's outside, never looks like he's going to score. Odegaard isn't a goal scorer. I thought he had a good game yesterday, but again, he's not a natural goal scorer. He never has been in his career. Xavi Simons hasn't found his shooting boots yet. Had that chance yesterday where he, maybe should have just dinked it a little bit quicker over the goalkeeper. But maybe, just maybe, if there's just a little bit more forward reinforcements, then maybe it changes. We've got to get Kudus back. Kudus, James Maddison. That will change it. But I feel like we need somebody desperately on the left that gets into that box that can score goals. I think we need it on the right as well. I thought Odegaard had some really good link-up play yesterday, especially I thought first half it was very good. Second half, I thought he faded away a little bit. But we need goals, don't we? We need to add goals to this team, and I think you'll see something very different. And I don't think we'd all be sitting here with such anger towards the club. Wherever you want to, some people Enoch, some people Vinay, some people Lang, some people Frank, some people everybody. I don't think we'd be sitting here with so much vitriol if Spurs did that. And look, they've got, what is it, the 20? We've got the 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st, right? 2nd. 5 days, including today, you got 5 days. Yeah, right. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We've got 5 days left. Now, will we do anything? I don't know. Before we get onto that, though, let's have a little look at a few things, shall we? Let's have a look at this. So we'll start with this. So let's start with this. So this is what Tottenham have received. This is what Tottenham have received in apparently for getting through the Champions League. Now, don't quote me. I don't know this source, but I saw this yesterday. It was sent to me. Spurs, sorry, my dog's going nuts about something. So Spurs have pocketed 42.488 million for finishing fourth in the Champions League phase. And this is why when people were saying, I can't believe he's done this in the Champions League, why prioritize that? We're not winning it. What does it matter? Well, it matters greatly. It matters greatly for the finances of the football club. Whether or not we care about the finances, it matters greatly. It says here that all teams receive 16.18 million for qualifying for the league phase. Yeah. So 16.18 million for qualifying. Tick. Teams who finish in the top 8 receive 9.56. I mean, so there you go. Straight away there, what we got, 26 million, right? Just under 26 million. Wins are worth 1.82 million each, right? So 9.1 million for Spurs for winning 5 out of their 8 games. Clubs also receive £239,000 per position in the final league standings. So that's 7.648 million for finishing fourth. So Spurs have made 42 million just getting to that stage. Now, there'll be more money for playing in the next stage, right? And the further you go, the more money you make. Now, this is a good thing, right? This is a good thing. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a finance fan, but this is a good thing for the club. However, what it will do is it will spark the calls for, hello, Enoch, we're making money. We were already told there was 100 million pumped into the club back in at the end of the season. At the end of October, November. So there's money available. We're in a transfer window. Is there any chance that we could, sorry, bear with me 1 second. Sorry, bear with me. Sorry, everyone. Sorry about that. Sorry, the dog's going mad at something. So yeah, when you look at that, you would have to say, wouldn't you? Like, where's the money? Where is the money gone? Are we going to spend any? Because this window so far, I believe we've spent 12 million, I believe, net, 12 million net. So is the money still there? What money was there? What money was available? I don't know. Listen, I don't know the answer to these questions. I really don't know. But 42 million. So again, I think that sometimes when I saw 2 weeks ago, people going, oh my God, he's dropped Tell, he's put Solanke in. What's it matter? As long as we get through in 15th, 16th, what's it? And you're like, whoa. I don't think we're quite understanding how this game works these days. The reason why the Arsenals, the Man Cities, these guys finish, they do this every season. They just get money. Wages go up, signings go up. So I think that, but by the way, just quickly, Eureka, give it a rest. We get it, right? We get it. For some reason, you don't like Kudus, who I think we really miss, but okay. But every post of yours is knocking a very good footballer. It's very strange. It's very strange behavior. I think we miss Kudus's ability greatly to beat a man and to drive forward with a ball. But I don't understand what the need. This is not a problem at our football club. Kudus is not a problem. It's so weird. It's honestly, I've never known a fan base like this. I've never known a fan base like this. Kudus is just, he's a very good, solid football player, right? And when you've got grown adults saying Kudus sexuals, like, it's so weird. It's like when fans call Arsenal anal. It's like, it's really childish. We're grown-ups, right? We're grown-ups. Just use his name. Kudus is his name. Like, sorry, mate, Tom, mate, I find it staggering. Listen, Kudus for me done some really good stuff this season. Not saying he's the finished article, not saying he's the greatest player in the world, but this surely shouldn't be where I just don't get it. I think Kudus is a really good footballer. But again, and I'll show you how this person doesn't understand football. You've got to remember that was a different tactic, playing different teams, different formations, right? So we're saying that if Kudus had played yesterday, we wouldn't have won that game. And again, unfortunately, fans who don't understand football, they just resort to XG, don't they? They just resort. Odegaard is better on the. Odegaard can't score a goal for love nor money. I thought he did well yesterday. Definitely first half, I thought he was very good. You know, it's just weird. I find it so weird. Kudus is a really good player that needs to be around better footballers as well, better players to link up with him, and we'll see the best of him. But this shouldn't be the, this shouldn't be the problem. It's so weird. Like calling one of your own players, like it's so weird. I'm just confused. I'm just confused. There is no way at all that Kudus should not be in that 11 when fit. Like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. We need a squad. We need players. But for some reason, we seem to have these fans now. I don't know how long they've supported Spurs, but they just talk so weird. They just talk so weird. Like, if you rate Kudus, you're a Kudus sexual. What is this, kindergarten? Like, you're no. I'm not being personal. You're a child, a Kudus sexual. Grow up. What do you mean a Kudus? Fan likes player. They're a Kudus sexual. Like, it's just weird. He's a good player that plays for Tottenham. I don't understand it. Mark, absolutely. This is what I don't get, mate. This is what it's so weird. It's so weird, right? Can't we just? I tell you what. One of the things I was talking about this, the other day with somebody. I'm not going to name who they are, but grown men that say things like "so wanky" and "arse anal," and you're like, aren't we grown ups? Don't we just like talk? Don't we just use their names? Like, if I'm going to say Arsenal, I'll say Arsenal. Them lot down the road, the Arsenal. West Ham. It's just so weird. It's so weird. It's what I find funny as well. Look, for me, Odegaard should be the guy behind the guy. Odegaard should be the guy behind the guy learning his trade. That's what I think. I think he played well yesterday. I don't think he scores goals. And I say I don't think he doesn't score goals, right? That is something he's really got to work on. In his career, he's never scored goals. And in this day and age, you're going to have some goals being chipped in. You're going to have some goals being chipped in from your wide areas, right? Now, I thought he played well yesterday. I think the problem for me with Odegaard yesterday, some of his link-up play was brilliant, right? And in the second half, a lot of the time he was running into people. The problem is when you do that, you give the ball away. Difference is when Kudus holds it up and people call him selfish, he's holding the ball up and he's not giving the ball away. Again, retaining possession. It's a very important thing. Yeah. I'm not nitpicking, mate. I'm a grown-up. I'm a grown-up. I don't know about you, but my mum taught me to talk properly. Like, I'm a grown-up. Why am I going to call Arsenal arse anal? So we'll see. But look, again, I don't understand. As I said, Odegaard for me, Spurs should have Kudus on the right, top winger on the left, and then you let the Odegaards and whoever else it is learn from these players. That's what Tottenham should do. If we had anything about us, that is what Tottenham would be doing. Yeah? Let Odegaard play every now and then. Bring him on with 15, 20 minutes to go. Let him be a rotation player, right? That's what we would do. That's what the bigger clubs do. And if we want to be the bigger clubs, that's what we need to get to, right? For me, as I said, Odegaard, he does some nice things, a lot of wasteful things for me. But for me, again, he wasn't bought as the main man. I hope that he wasn't bought as the main man. So, look, I thought he played well last night. I thought Xavi Simons was excellent last night. Absolutely brilliant last night. We saw you know, when he's got a bit more time on the ball, what he can do. Now he's got to replicate that in the Premier League, hasn't he, when he hasn't got as much time and as much space on the ball, but the ability there. Some of his footwork last night, Xavi Simons, was lovely, wasn't it? Just the way he dropped his shoulder, you know, he was weaving in and out. I thought he did some really, really nice stuff yesterday. On the left-hand side, fair play to Udogie. I think you could see Udogie was not fit. I think we can see that, right? Dude, listen, I'm chilled. I don't understand what part of me is not chilled. If you just say stupid shit, I'm chilled. I thought Destiny Udogie put in a really good shift. I think you could see when he was running forward, he's not 100% fit. I think they're easing him back in. But again, look how the fans reacted to him not starting against Burnley. They want him to start against Dortmund, Burnley. It's like, you know, as we said, he did it with Solanke as well. Both those two have started 2, rested for 1. I think that's really good game management, but no one will say that because no one wants to give Frank any credit for anything. Frank sets up the team last night. I'm hearing, oh, it was the players who played like that. You know, you can't win. And I feel like I've not attacked you at all. Right? I've not attacked you at all. I just think it's really sad you're calling people Kudus sexuals. Aren't they just Spurs fans that like Kudus? Like, I don't understand. Look, you've got a picture of Eureka and you've got no name. I mean, it's really sad, to be brutally honest with you, right? It's a valid view that we are better without Kudus. Well, really? I completely disagree with you. But it's weird that you come in here with that energy. Rather, again, we can't be happy that we won, can we? Spurs fans can't be happy that we won. Yeah. It's so weird. I thought Odegaard had a decent game, by the way. I don't think he did anything amazing. I thought he had a decent game. And this is what we do. Every time someone has a decent game, fans like that go overboard, don't they? Fans like that go overboard. Massively. Fans like that go overboard. Right? And for me, I just think that we need to calm down a little bit. Not, yeah. No, that's not attacking you. I'm just stating that it's always the people. Listen, you're not listening. It's always the people without their picture and without their name who do what you're doing. I'm not attacking you. I'm making an observation, mate. I'm making an observation. You know, you say things like it's people who go frank sexuals, Kudus sexuals. What are we doing here? Aren't we grown-ups? But you wouldn't talk like that down the pub. Like, this is weird. It's just weird behavior. It's just weird behavior. It's just crazy. You know, I just think it's crazy. So again, what we can't do is just go, oh, I thought Odegaard played well. What we have to do is go, I thought Odegaard played well. Let's now knock someone else. Do you know what I mean? That person couldn't just say, thought Odegaard played well, right? It was Odegaard played. Oh, we'll see. Kudus sexuals. It's like, whoa, what has Kudus got to do with anything from last night? And let's be brutally honest. One second. So sorry. Yeah. Yeah, listen, and as I said, I think you all know, right? I think, as I said, look, for me, I just think you know, I wanted to come on and talk football with people, and there's just too many people like that Eureka person that makes me, God, the internet is just a horrible place, right? It's like everyone's a frank sexual, a Kudus sexual. This isn't how I talk in my normal life. This isn't how I talk, right? This isn't how I talk at all. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, last night was very good. Last night was a very good game. I thought we played really well, right? Thought we played really well last night. And And you know what? Second half, some real, as Frankfurt opened up a little bit as well, we started to find spaces. We started to pick holes. Oh God, shut up. Whoever this is, just shut up. Everybody in the chat, I'm fine. Everyone's saying calm down. I'm absolutely fine. Just stop. I'm just pointing out that it's pathetic, right? I just think it's pathetic. Everyone's so weird. Everyone is so weird. If everyone wants to know why I'm getting on, everyone is so weird, right? It's so weird. I genuinely thought when I started YouTube, you might be able to just talk normal football with normal adults, right? Normal adults rather than children that say things like sexuals, and so wanky. They're like, what are we doing here? We're grown-ups. We're grown-ups. It's crazy. Look, we were excellent yesterday. I thought Xavi Simons was excellent. I thought Solanke was very good when he came on as well. Who else? Jed Spence was in and out for me. Jed Spence, for me, as I've always thought, very good footballer, just a bit lackadaisical. Just a little bit lackadaisical for me. And I've always thought that about him. There's too many times where he goes to make a pass and he just doesn't quite put enough on it. Not because he can't, just because it's a bit lazy. That's only my feeling on it. Same with Mawani to a degree. Like Mawani, you can see as a talented footballer. But sometimes when the ball goes into him and you're thinking you just want a definite touch, a definite pass, it's a tiny little touch or a flick every time. And you're thinking, no, just smooth the ball into your opponent. Don't worry about it. But look, I thought we played some really nice football last night. Good approach play. Different type of game to what you get in the Premier League. But I thought the team were excellent. Thomas Frank got it right. The players got it right. I don't really think there's any negatives to go through from last night. I thought that Papa Sarr, he can't pass a ball, is what I would say. I think Papa Sarr, for me, does so much great stuff, right? He does so much great stuff on the ball in terms of winning it back, nicking it off opponents, driving forward with it. But anytime he had to make a pass, 5 yards, 10 yards, right? He can't do it. More often than not, he can't do it. And that for me is a reason why I would move him on in the summer. I would definitely move him on. And that for me is why I think they've brought in an upgrade in somebody like Conor Gallagher. So look, we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a very different game. Lots of people I know will say, oh, why can't we play that against Man City? It's a very different opponent, very different format, very different game, very different level of players that you're playing against. I don't know, with people, Archie Gray, I thought Archie Gray did his job. Again, I don't really notice him, which is fine. I thought he did his job, Archie Gray. I thought he did his job. I think those sort of games are good for Archie Gray, like that and Dortmund, where we have a lot of the ball. That's good for Gray. So he doesn't have to worry too much about what's around him. So I thought he did okay. Again, I still think we need you got to have much better than that in central midfield. But I thought he did well enough. I would give him a solid 7 out of 10 for last night's game. I thought Paulinho was excellent. I thought it was really good considering he was kind of playing that hybrid centre back DM type position. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really, really good, Paulinho. And I think it's just a case of how many games a week can Paulinho play? Because what I heard was that he'd been carrying a knock. I've heard that he'd been carrying a knock. Now, I don't know how true that is. Do you know what, by the way, Tom? Yeah, this is what I mean, mate. This is what I mean. In the 90s, the 90s, the noughties, I didn't need XG to tell me whether Spurs had played well or not. And I still don't need XG to tell me now. I think if fans don't understand football, XG is amazing. Because they go, oh my God, our XG was 2.0. I don't need XG to tell me last night we could have scored 4, 5 or 6 goals. You know what I mean? It's just, you don't need it. But hey, people love it and you let them get on with it. But it's a new thing, isn't it? It's a new thing, this XG. But look, last night was great, finishing top four as well. Um, who would have had us down to top four at the beginning of the Champions League stage? And yeah, Kate and Jimbo. I think this is probably going to be Kate. I'm guessing maybe Jim. Who knows? One of the two. So I hate XG and so hate pre-assist. Yeah, look, I just don't think it means anything. Like, hey, do you know what? Um, if you watch Spurs against Burnley, right? Okay, so let's have a look, right? Let's see what the official XG was for Spurs versus Bromley. Bromley, sorry, I'm going Bromley in a minute. That's why I've said that. Spurs versus Burnley, right? So the official XG was 2.05. We had 18 shots and 11 on target. Why was it 2 XG? That game, we should have scored 5 or 6, right? We should have scored 5 or 6. So people can go, oh my God, did you see our XG was 2.05? I don't care what the XG was. Spurs should have scored 5 or 6. We had chance after chance after chance. Doesn't really mean anything. Doesn't mean anything to me as a football fan. Oh, our XG was only 0.43 today. Oh, good God. Oh my God. Who cares? It's madness. Who cares what the XG is? XG can mean a number of things. But listen, back to the point. I thought Spurs could have scored a lot of goals last night. But we could have scored a lot of goals against Burnley. And still, we no one wants to see that. Not no one, sorry. Lots of people don't want to see the positive in that. And I think we really should. I think that we were I thought that we were very good, lots of intensity. One of the things I keep hearing, by the way, again, which proves these people are completely wrong, is the players aren't playing for him. I don't see that. I don't see that in these performances, that they're not playing for him. In the last 3 games, I thought we were dominant over Dortmund, dominant over Frankfurt. We were dominant over Burnley. If the players don't want to play for him, we wouldn't be doing this. There wouldn't be that intensity. We wouldn't be having all, so I'm not really, I'm not really going with that theory. I'm not going with that theory that, the players are down tools and they're not playing for him. I think they are. I just don't think that we've got the players that are capable of putting teams to bed, right? When you want to listen, yesterday, if Son and Kane play in that game, what's the score? If Son and Kane play in that game with the chances we had, Odegaard hits the post, the Paulinho header, Xavi Simons saved by the keeper, second half, Romero's header at the goalkeeper, loads of chances in the second half. Kane and Son play in that game. If Kane and Son play against Burnley, these games are very different. So I think there's a huge difference between players not playing for him and players not having the capability to do what we need to do. Now, that doesn't mean that no blame goes on the manager. As I said, in a football club, everyone has to take their blame, whether it's players, whether it's manager, owners, everybody has to take their slice of the blame pie. But what I've noticed we're doing as a fan base is when Frank gets it right, everyone starts going, oh, it's Heitinger. Oh, but he had no choice. Well, hang on. So Frank didn't have the choice last night to play 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. Could have done whatever he wanted. He could have started Solanke, didn't. Started Mawani. Mawani got his goal. It paid off. He then brings on Solanke. Solanke gets his goal. He gets it absolutely right. And still we can't just say, not everyone, but still people can't just say, oh, yeah, Frank did well. He got it right. He's done brilliantly in the Champions League. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. I mean, we're going to look at how we've done in the Champions League. Look, there we go. So the top 8 of the Champions League: Arsenal, Munich, Liverpool. If I had said to you, hang on, who's messaging me? One sec. If I'd said to you at the beginning of the Champions League campaign, that is going to be the table after the first 8, or after the 8-game league stage, we would have all bitten the hand off, wouldn't we? We would have all bitten your hand off. We've lost 1 game in 8, right? 17 points. On top of that as well, look, on top of that, 6 clean sheets, the most clean sheets of any club in the league phase. We've made £42 million there as well. And our next 4 games, we'll come to that in a minute in more detail. Bruges, Juventus, Galatasaray, and Atletico Madrid. Now, look, we would have taken that in a heartbeat. We would have absolutely taken that in a heartbeat. So I genuinely think that we should all be very, very happy with that. Yeah. Again, we can't be happy because people like Aaron just want to talk about last season. Oh my gosh, it's hard work, isn't it? This fan base is really hard work. We can't be. We don't want to be happy. We don't want to be happy. We're in the Champions League this season. We finished in the top 4. We've got 14 first-team players missing. And we can't be happy. It's, but last season, oh my God, grow the fuck up. Oh my God, grow up. It is so boring. It is so boring. When people keep saying to me now, why you get rid of YouTube? Because you can't have a football conversation. You can't have a football conversation, can you? We're talking about this year. Right? We're not talking about last year. We're not talking about Angepostecoglou. We're talking about the Champions League run this year and giving Thomas Frank some credit. But no, we can't. Can't do it. Can't do it. Because people like Aaron don't want to be happy. No one wants to be happy. The number of posts I saw last night, right, that were good win. But why? It's like, no, why is there a but? Why can't it just be good win? Why can't it just be a good win? I don't understand why it can't be a good win. Absolutely, Ben. Absolutely, Ben. Right? This is a Bodo team that have beaten Man City, beaten Atletico Madrid, drew with Dortmund, drew with Tottenham, and lost in the last minute to Juve. And this is the thing, Ben. This is the problem, right? This is the problem. When we got that point, I remember at the time, Percy said to me, that's going to be a really valuable point. This is going to be a really valuable point. I mean, in this run, we've played Monaco, PSG, Villarreal, Dortmund. We've played some good teams in there in a really difficult time for the club. But we can't be happy. We can't be happy, can we? And I just feel it's really sad at this stage. I feel it's really sad. And anything you say it's not good enough, is it? Anything you say isn't, anything you say is not right. But you didn't say this last year. Well, this year is a different situation to last year. I don't understand. I don't understand. But Bodo, look, Bodo are a good team. Bodo are a good team. We did well, as I said last year. We did well to beat Bodo. They're a tricky opponent. They are a very tricky opponent. They have had some great results across the years, right? They've had some great results in Europe across the years, and I think a lot of fans that don't know who they are haven't bothered to check. That's why I said, going into that game, right? Going into the game against Bodo last season, I said, this is a tricky semi-final tie. Expect to win, yes, but it's tricky. Jim Lindsay, you're gone as well. See you later, mate. It's just a bit boring now. It's so boring. It's so boring. We can't. I'm so bored. I'm so honestly, I'm so bored. So bored of this. It's not football conversation, is it? Spurs fan says, well done. We've done well. No, but what about Ange? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's just tough work, isn't it? It's just tough work. Again, guys and girls, I support Tottenham. I don't support Frank. I don't support Ange. I don't support Romero. I don't support Vicario. I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan. But look, it is what it is. I think we've done really well. Look, then invert the fullback. See you later. See you later. Bye-bye. Yeah. Anyway, just getting rid of all idiots now, just going. Tony, where's Cam Tinley? Where's Matt? Where's Marios? If you notice that they don't show up when we win, it's so strange. It's so strange. The last 2-3 years for me has been a real turning point in this fan base when I've seen that it doesn't feel like most people are actually just fans of the club. It feels like we latch on to a manager or a player. But I think for a lot of the older fans, how many managers and players have we seen over the years come and go? Doesn't matter. More are going to come, more are going to go. It's why I don't, people go to me, I gutted Thomas Frank. I'm like, what do you mean gutted? He's a manager of Tottenham Hotspur. He's gonna go at some point. He's going to go at some point. It's I don't see what's so wrong with it. So look, I don't know. Really good win. Really happy for Spurs. And now, listen, we are in a position where how far can we go in a tournament? Now, look, these are the teams that we can possibly play. It's going to be one of these 4. Now, all 4 of these present a very different challenge. All 4 for me are very tricky in a different way. So Bruges and Galatasaray, Juventus and Atletico Madrid. 1 second. Bruges, let's start with them. Now, Bruges are a decent football team. They play some really nice stuff. They bring through a lot of players. They bring through a lot of players, and they always do well every single year. They lose all their best players every year as well. They will continue to lose all their best players every single year. That's a tricky game. Bruges. Solis, who plays for Bruges, is very good. You think De Ketelaere came from there. Who was it that went in? Jashari went from there. De Kuipers has gone from there. Who's the centre forward I'm thinking of? Thiago at Brentford came from there. Honestly, if I'm Tottenham, I am putting a scout in Belgium. If I'm Tottenham. For me, I have no idea why we never seem to do this. We had that little section of Belgian players that played for us, didn't we? But we didn't get any of them from Belgium, if I'm not wrong, in terms of Alderweireld came from Atletico, Vertonghen came from Ajax, Moussa Dembele came from Fulham, Nasser Chadli came from, great question. And I don't know why we don't do it. I don't know why we don't do it more. There's some good players. But listen, I think that's a tricky game. I think that's a really tricky game, Club Bruges, over 2 legs. So be interesting to see what happens. Now, the next one is obviously Galatasaray. Now, Galatasaray, we know, right? We played them last year. They played us off the park, didn't they? Oh, my God, it was hard work. They played us off the park. It was the debut of Lancashire, right? I think Lancashire. But we know that Galatasaray are their home ground is not a nice place to go to, right? We know it's a tough cauldron of noise, but I don't think that will be easy either. And then you look at the 2 bigger clubs, so to speak, within that 4. and you look at Juventus. Now, I've watched Juventus quite a lot lately. Very methodical team. They change managers. Their results have been picking up massively, but they are very methodical. They're not a good team to watch. They're organized. They're hard to beat. They're strong at the back, strong through the middle. A lot of their play goes through Locatelli in midfield. They look to Yildiz for the inspiration out on the left-hand side. But their form has massively picked up. And Juventus will not be easy over 2 legs. It will not be easy over 2 legs. Then you've got Atletico Madrid. Now, Atletico Madrid have got, obviously, Diego Simeone. He's been there for years. They've got good players littered throughout their team. They've got goal scorers. When you look at Griezmann, you look at Alvarez, you look at Sorloth. They've got a lot of players that can hurt you. But when I've been watching them lately, they don't feel as solid as they once were. There used to be a time when they just didn't let in goals. And now, look, last night, they had to win to qualify in the Champions League, didn't they? And let me just double check this. I'm pretty sure if they had won last night, if they had won last night, depending on goal difference, they could have gone through. But they lost at home to Bodo, right? So, look, over 2 legs, hard to say, but they've got goal scorers. As I said, they've got the complete opposite to what we've got. When you look at Julian Alvarez, Sorloth, very different players, by the way, aren't they? Sorloth and Alvarez, they've got the options there. Griezmann, they've got players that can hurt you. I also like Simeone's son as well. It's going to be interesting to see who we get. It's going to be very interesting to see who we get. We won't know for a while yet, but once we do know, that's going to be very interesting. And why not? Why can't we go into those 2 legs and keep going? Why can't Frank use this as a way to build and grow? Why not? There's nothing to say that he can't. Let me know in the chat right now, who are you picking? If you had to pick one, if you had to pick one, who are you picking? I've got a feeling most people will probably say Bruges. Let's see though. Who are you picking? Who are you picking? Lots of people, say Bruges. Yeah, a lot of people I think are going to say Bruges. I think this is a banana skin, Bruges. I might be tempted to say Juve. Juve. I don't know. I don't look at any of the 4 and go, they're amazing. Atletico obviously are the standout for me. Juve are tough to beat. As we said, Juve play the back 3. At the moment, they've been playing the back 3. They're very solid. They're very hard to beat. Galatasaray, for me, don't travel well, but at their ground is going to be horrible. But hey, whoever we come up against, why can't we over 2 legs? Got to make sure we know that the second leg, by the way, is going to be at White Hart Lane. Yes, I am always going to call it White Hart Lane. So why not? Why can't we go a bit further? And again, the further you go, the more revenue that's made. Does it put you on the radar for a few more players? All of these different questions can be asked, right? All of these different questions can be asked. Then we have to look at the next thing. We have avoided, which was very important for the win versus the draw last night, we have avoided the 2-match playoffs, right? We have avoided the playoffs, which is brilliant because of the injuries, because of the number of games we've played, the number of games we're going to play. I think that this is really good. We have got away without having 2 games sandwiched either side of another game, which gives you another 2 midweeks off. So that was very, very important. That was very, very important for Tottenham to get away with that, right? Very, very important. Now, something else that we can talk about here. And I'm not going to go forever this morning, guys. I'm not going to go forever. And a few people have messaged me about coming on. I'm not being rude. I'm not just ignoring them. I've got a few things that I need to do today. So I won't be going for too long. Now that the Champions League is finished, does this open up the transfer window for the last 5 months? There. Let me start that sentence again. Sorry, it was nearly a fully fledged sentence. Does that open up the options in the transfer market for these last 5 days of activity? So we've got all of Thursday today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We've got 5 days. We have got 5 days. Now, teams that have gone out of the Champions League or teams that now know their Champions League fate, does this open up options for buying players? Now, when we look at clubs that have gone out of the Champions League completely, there's some good clubs that will have some good players. You've got Marseille in there, PSV, Bilbao, Napoli, Ajax, Villarreal. There's some good clubs that have gone. Now, I don't know. Are Spurs looking at any players from those clubs? I don't know. I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. Everything seems to be very much under wraps. But what does that change? Does it change now clubs know their fate? Does it change who's going to stay, who's going to go? I'm not so sure. There's 24 teams that still have something to play for. I genuinely don't know. Someone's asking if Lookman played yesterday. I'm just going to have a look for you. Yesterday, Wednesday, Champions League. Where are they? There we go. Atalanta played, didn't they? Lost 1-0. Lineups. Lookman played and was subbed off. After 51 minutes. Look, he was subbed off. Yeah, he's out of favour there, isn't he? It doesn't look like that's something we're going to go for. You keep hearing reports that he was offered to us. I genuinely don't know what's true and what's not anymore. But look, again, there are players moving all over Europe. There are players moving. There is no reason why Tottenham shouldn't be able. There's no reason why people shouldn't be able to get players in at Spurs. There isn't a reason. Let's be brutally honest. There are players moving. Mateta, again, I'm not saying I want all these. I'm just saying players are moving. Mateta's moving. Strand Larsen's moving, right? West Ham have brought in 3 different forwards. Yeah, Inter Milan are taking Diaby from somewhere on loan. There's players moving to Galatasaray, to Fenerbahce. There are clubs that are doing business, and we need to see whether or not Spurs are going to be one of those clubs that join in. We really need to. Yes, a great win yesterday, but what we can't do is just go, oh, there you go, we've qualified for the Champions League. We don't need players. We do. We do need players. We do. We need forwards. Doesn't matter who likes Solanke or Richarlison or Tell or Mawani or Oda. We need better. We need better. And if we want to be better, you've got to buy better. Lots of people in the chat right now are talking about Greenwood. I'm not even going to go near that conversation. A lot of people are talking about Greenwood. Tammy Abraham's gone to Aston Villa, hasn't he? So they've got more options. They've got more goals into their squad now. Tottenham need to find a way to do this. We need to find a way to get players in that can score goals. We need to find a way to get creative players into the club as well. Creators, goal scorers. If we don't, I do feel that we're going to have a real struggle for the back half of the season. At the moment, we're going to be hoping that Dominic Solanke can stay fit. Again, Dominic Solanke, for me, has got a lot to prove. I'm not just going to say, oh, he scored 2 in the last 3 games and suddenly I think he's amazing. He's got a lot to prove. Look, lots of reports, people saying, oh, don't rule out a move for Sterling. I don't know what Spurs are planning, right? I don't know what Spurs are planning. I just know that they've had 4 months. If you add this month, they've now had 4 months, right? They've now had 5 months. You've had September, October, November, December, and January. You got Kudus out injured. Brennan Johnson has left the building. Richarlison is injured. You've got to add some bodies to that forward line. You've got to have options. Our options can't be people like Dane Scarlett coming off the bench. They can't at all. When he came on last night, he just looked like a lost boy for me. But look, you've got to be able to have better options, and you've got to be able to add goals to your squad. If we do that, I truly believe this, guys and girls. I truly believe if we had better finishers, we're nowhere near the position we are right now. We're not near this position. That's only it's just my humble opinion, right? But if Tottenham right now had the front four we had last year with Kulu, Maddison, Son, and Solanke, I think we're easily in the top 7. I do. I truly do. But if you don't have goal scorers, not saying it should be them, I'm saying we should go and buy some new players. But if you don't have those players, you're going to struggle to see off games. And games like Burnley, that should be 3 points. That should be 3 points, shouldn't it? The game against Burnley should have been 3 points. But again, 18 shots, 11 on target, can't score goals. And this is where the Kanes and the Sons, the Mo Salahs, the Erling Haalands, we can do some. That's where the Ollie Watkins, the Morgan Rogers, this is where these players managed to find that moment out of nothing. Right? They managed to find that moment. Right? They managed to find it. I want to add something here. Bear with me 1 second. Just because when I see something in the chat that I think is funny, just want to. Yeah. So let's just have a look at these. I think this is funny. So obviously someone's watching this back, right? I like this. Gallagher is not better than Sarr, in my opinion. I'll tell you what, I'll just leave this here. I'm not even going to say any words. I'm not even going to say any words. Yeah, he's not better than Sarr, is he? Got to laugh at some people. So listen, I think if you had goals, I think we're much higher up the table. I think a lot of this noise goes away. I think a lot of the drama goes away. A lot of the vitriol goes away. And Tottenham are a better team. Can they get that over the line? That's the big question. You've got 5 days, people. Let me know in the chat. Yes or no. Are Tottenham going to bring in a forward? Yes or no? It's that simple. Actually, 0 for no forwards coming in, 1 for 1 forward, and 2 for 2 forwards coming in. I would love it for Spurs to prove me wrong. I would love in this next 5 days that Spurs go and not sign just 1, but 2 really good forwards. Go and buy 2 really good wide men, 1 on the right, 1 on the left. Play them with Solanke up top. And you go, yeah, that's changed us. That's changed the way we are. Get a couple of wins against some of these teams. Right? Go and get a couple of wins against some of these clubs that everyone's saying we can't get any points from. We all know, though, right? We all know that this is Tottenham. This is Tottenham. Nothing will surprise us. Nothing will surprise us. I'm almost waiting for an Ornstein message to come through and we all go, huh? Why are we signing him? That sort of signing. Someone else in the chat said John Duran. There's reports that he wants to move. But again, let's look at John Duran. And again, a good forward, but something doesn't sit right with me with John Duran. Let's have a look. So John Duran, in the last 2 seasons, has played for 3 clubs. He's played for Villa, Al Nassr, and Fenerbahce. I don't know. I don't know. It just feels like, is this, he's going to be one of those players that just moves around and around and around and around and around and around. So we'll see what happens with that one. But I do think that someone will get him. He can score goals. but we've never seen him be the starting man that plays for a couple of years at a club and bangs in loads, if that makes sense. 22 years of age, has played for Fenerbahce, Al Nassr, Aston Villa, Chicago Fire, and Envigado. So he's played for 5 teams in his senior career, and he's 22 years of age. I don't know. It's a tough one, right? It's a tough one. And Terry, this wouldn't surprise me, mate. This wouldn't surprise me. Dele Alli and Sterling. Yeah, for anyone that wants to know. So Crystal Palace have signed Strand Larsen. Romero's just given it the here we go for anyone that wants to believe in that. So Strand Larsen has gone to Crystal Palace. That would mean that Mateta, I'm guessing, will have a here we go for somewhere else very, very soon. But listen, I'm not saying I want Mateta. I'm not saying I want Strand Larsen. But what I will do is say fair play to those clubs for trying to add to their team. Fair play to those clubs. Smaller clubs, not as much money as we've got, but they're trying to add players to their team. They're trying to add goals to their team. And that, for me, is what Tottenham should definitely be doing. And we're just not. And I hope that Spurs have got something up their sleeve for us. I hope that Spurs have got something up their sleeve for us. For a number of reasons as well, by the way. One, we need it, right? We need it desperately, don't we? 2, I think we need to see something to have some faith in the owners. At the moment, I think a lot of people, including me, we have zero faith in the owners. Like zero faith. Again, another reason is we have zero faith in Lang, right? Like there's a lot of people where there's not a lot of faith anywhere. And it's windows like this where they can allay those fears. They can allay those fears for us. They can say, look, we've been working on this. Look at these. Imagine in the next 5 days, look at these 2 signings over here. And we can all go, wow, they've been working on, wow, fair play. But deep down in the pits of your stomach, do any of you actually believe that? Does anyone in the pit of their stomach think this is happening in the next 5 days? I think something will happen. When I asked you to put 0, 1 or 2, my answer is 1. I think we will get 1. I just don't know what caliber it's going to be. And knowing us, it will probably be a right back or something. It will be a goalkeeper or a right back. So, look, there are 5 days left. And that's why when people tell me all transfer window, they say things to me like, the window's not shut yet. And I always say the same thing. Sure, but this is Spurs. We know what we do. This is another end of a window where Spurs can prove me massively wrong. Even then, it's not about proving me wrong. Prove us wrong. Show us that you've got the cojones. Show us that you've done something that really changes the level at this club. Show us that you're going and bringing in a striker or a winger who is there compared to what we've got. Don't go and bring in another at the Solanke level. Don't go and bring in another Odegaard or Tell. Go and get someone at that level where you go, cool, yeah, definite starter. Definite starter. And every window, I don't see it. Every window, I do not see it. Even in the summer. Listen, I love Xavi Simons. I think he's going to be a really good player. I think next year will be a year where he's settled. He's been here a while, understands the league. He's still not better than James Maddison, right? When we bought him, he's not a better footballer than James Maddison. I'm waiting for that signing where you go, cool, yes. Now, I don't know. Is that player available? Is that player available? Is that player going to be interested in Tottenham Hotspur? I don't know. I know as much as you lot. I can only say that we hope that Spurs do this. We hope that Spurs can surprise us. Like, I'm going out shortly. I've got a few bits to do around the shops. I would love to come back, look at my phone and go, Actually, who am I pretending that I don't have my phone on me? I would love to, you know what I mean? I'd love to be walking around and get an alert from someone. I know who it'll be. It'll be my boy Ash. Ash, I know you're in the chat. It will be my boy Ash. He'll ring me. I know whenever Spurs sign someone, I get the phone call. I don't just get the WhatsApp, I get the phone call. I'd love that. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for Spurs to, you know, wouldn't it be nice to see today Tottenham in talks with Ademola Lookman? I'd love to see that. I'm not asking the world. I'm not asking us to go and buy Kevin De Bruyne or Erling Haaland. I'd love to see that. I really would. And I think, you know, we talk about ego, we talk about point scoring and right or wrong. I feel like you'll all agree with me on this. Every one of you in the chat who doubts Frank, who doubts Lang, who doubts the owners, who doubts Top, we would all love to be wrong, right? We would all love to be massively wrong on all of these things. We'd love to win the next 10 games, sign 2 top players, and we all go, oh, wow. Right? We'd love to do that. But they don't tend to do it, do they? There's been moments. There's been moments, hasn't there, down the years, right? Rafa van der Vaart signing on a transfer deadline day in 2000 and get there, Savva, get there, 2010. Yes, 2010. I'm just trying to think where I was when I saw the information. Where did I live at the time? Yes, 2010. Rafa van der Vaart comes in and we all go, oh, that's a signing. You think he'd kick on? We don't, right? And we need that again. I said yesterday on my watch along, I feel like we need the Kulu Bentancur window. You know, where they're not amazing footballers, but they came in and from day one, we had a massive impact. And we need that, right? We need that. You just qualified for the Champions League. You've got something to sell to players, right? You've got that positive going on. We're not going down. We've got the Champions League to sell. We've got loads of money. Use this as a moment, a stepping stone, a springboard, whatever analogy you want to use there. Use that as a function to say, look, come join us. Look, come join us. This is what we're doing. Look, we just signed Conor Gallagher. We're signing Lookman. We're signing you as well. Like Andy Robertson's joining us in the summer for the experience. You know, really, hang on one second. I can redirect, but ending. You know, really show us. Really show us as a company. I think, you know, if we all take a breath, right? If everyone takes a breath, steps back, removes their opinion on any player, any manager, anything. If we take a step back and look at this as Spurs fans, leave your ego for 1 minute, all of us. What is it that we want? What is it that we want? We want Spurs to go like that. Not for one season, not for a cup run. We want Spurs to go like that, don't we? We want Spurs to buy better players. We want Spurs to have a plan. We want Spurs to be a really good club that we can be really proud of every year. We all want that, right? But our egos stop us all admitting that because we're so worried about being right. We're so worried about you said this, you said that, I said this. Did you hear what he said? He said this about you. She said that. If we leave that at the door and go for the common goal, which is Tottenham Hotspur to be a better football club. What a nice feeling that would be, right? What a real nice, positive feeling that would be. And all of you, all the viewers, all the YouTubers, all of us, every pundit, everyone's been right about things. Everyone's been wrong about things. But everybody has the same goal, right? Everybody has the same goal. When you break it down, everyone has the same goal. We all want to win games of football. We all want a club to go in the right direction. And we all want to see the owners show us why we built this massive £1 billion stadium. We all agree. Is there anyone in the chat that disagrees with that? You know, YouTubers can spend ages making videos about each other, calling each other out. What? We all want Spurs to be good. I might think we go this route. So-and-so might think we go that route. So-and-so thinks we go that route. We all want the same, right? We all want the same. And wouldn't it be nice to all pull in that direction for once? But hey, I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't. I genuinely don't. I've seen it getting worse and worse and worse over the years on social media, on YouTube, on the internet in general. And it feels like we all need to pull together with the same energy. But is that ever going to happen? I thoroughly doubt it. Give me some names, people in the chat. Give me some names of people that you think Tottenham are going to sign in the last few days. And be realistic with it, right? Be realistic with it. Who is it that you think Spurs are going to sign in the last few days of the window? For me, I can see Andy Robertson being one. I think I think we know if he doesn't come in now, he's coming in the summer. I've got nothing wrong with that. Experienced. He's a winner, right? He is the current Premier League champion of a left back, right? This is a guy, I'm seeing everyone go, he's past it, he's this, he's that. This is a guy that played how many games for Liverpool last season as they won the Premier League? He's a captain, he's a leader, he's the captain of Scotland, right? He's led Scotland to 3 tournaments in a row, I'm led to believe. Doesn't mean he's got to start every game. But again, we need that in the dressing room, right? Now, I've got a feeling it might be that if Roma, Liverpool can sort out between them that left-back situation. If not, I don't know where we go. If not, I don't know. I'm not seeing any names to make me go, cool, this is definitely happening. I really don't know. Some people are saying Sterling. Some people think we're going to hijack the Mateta bid. The Mateta bid is fine, but for me, it's very Solanke-like. I think what's more important, unless you bring in a top striker, right? Unless you bring in a top striker, I think it needs to be someone who plays more of the wide forward positions for me. But I do feel like Mateta is the sort of thing Tottenham would do. Now, what do I think of Mateta? I don't mind Mateta. He's decent. I think he's one of those that I would say on his day. On his day, he's an awkward bugger to play against, isn't he? On his day, he grabs a good goal. Is he that composed striker with really good hold-up play that's going to revolutionise the way Tottenham play? I don't think so. I don't know. Some people saying Xerxes. Maybe a Xerxes on loan from Manchester United. Maybe. But hey, I don't know what Tottenham are going to do. I've, almost given up second guessing what Tottenham are going to do, especially with the way we run the club now. We don't seem to do a lot in the media, do we? We don't seem to do a lot in the media. I think I would love to see a Lookman and actually somebody quick with their feet, just a bit more about them, really good technical ability, comfortable with a ball. Are we in for one of them? I haven't seen any links to say we are. I don't know. We will find out, won't we? What the hell are we going for a left back? We don't need that position. Well, Ben Davis is out injured. Adogi is injury prone, and there's no other left back in the football club. So I feel like it does make sense. We're going to need another left back at some point, and I'm guessing that Sosa will end up on loan either now or in the summer. Callum Wilson. Matoma from Brighton, another one. Yeah, Matoma looks like, for me, Matoma needs a new spark in his career. I feel like he's been there for a long time now. At Brighton, I wouldn't mind the Matoma. Big up, Connor. How you doing, bro? See you Sunday, hopefully, mate. I say hopefully. I'm sure I'll see you Sunday. Mateta ain't it. He's all right, but it's another Solanke Richie-esque signing. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Wing of the priority and should be in theory. Do you know the only time I would disagree with you, Connor? And I agree with you 100%. The only thing I would say is if an amazing striker, don't know who, by the way, if an amazing striker became available and offered to us, then I would take it. Right now, would I want, I mean, you'd have Mateta and Solanke. Could you go two up top? What would they, I agree with you. I agree. I think the wide position is a lot more important. We'll see. We'll see. Listen, he's you know, Solanke's an interesting one for me. I think he's okay. Dominic Solanke. I think he's okay. Look, he's what, 28 going on 29 now or 29 now. I don't know, one of those two. He's had one great year in his career. Other than that, I think have been quite underwhelming. But don't know. Maybe this year, now that we've got him fit, get him some players who can supply out wide. Who knows? For me, though, is Mateta an upgrade? I don't think it is. I don't think he's any worse. I just don't think he's an upgrade. So we'll see. Big up Ellie. So while I'm watching you, my hubby has The Sopranos, Savva. It's nearly as grim as watching us in yeah, The Sopranos. What a great show The Sopranos is. Look, guys and girls, look, we got 5 days. We all want the same thing. We all want to see something. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. I saw is Vlahovic injured? Big up to Mark. How you doing, Mark? Hope you're well. I think I've seen that Vlahovic is injured, if I'm not wrong. Now, if Vlahovic was offered, I would rather Vlahovic than Mateta or Solanke. I would, but I don't know. Kate, interesting one. Who would you bring in up front? It's a difficult one. I really like Pavlidis of Benfica. I don't know if he's available. I don't know if he's available. I don't know. Listen, guys and girls, let me do some super chats. Big up to Anthony Clark. Thank you so much. Always very generous to me. Thank you, Anthony. Really appreciate the super sticker. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that. Big up to the Big D. How you doing, bro? Hope you're well. Said, is the quality of Europe dropped? Has the quality of football dropped in your opinion? Great finish, top 4 in the Champions League. Make it make sense. Look, I think the difficulty that we've got, right? I don't, there's so many teams now in the Champions League, right? I mean, there didn't used to be. So what happens is more teams that would have been in lesser competitions go into the Champions League. Then teams that wouldn't have been in Europe at all then go into the lesser European competitions. And it kind of waters it down, doesn't it? Look, Champions League's very different to Premier League, isn't it? It is very different. Playing European teams is different. But look, we've definitely got to find a common ground, right? We've got to find some form in the in the Premier League. Tough run of games coming up, but we've got to find some points from somewhere. Big up to you, Big D. Really appreciate it, my man. Big up to Keenan. Thank you very much, Keenan. Said, bro, Kudus is class, only good attacker. Kudus is a really good footballer. I think anybody that's now going to put their focus on hating Kudus or thinking Odegaard is better than Kudus, it's just very reactionary. No Premier League manager would start Odegaard over Kudus. They just wouldn't, for a reason. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. The Big D, hats off to Frank. Excellent Champions League. Listen, he's done really well. I know it's not it's not the done thing to give any credit, but credit where it's due. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. Rob Welsh, been a member for 9 months. Big up, Rob. Said, talks growing about a Mateta bid. Is he really the answer? Smells like a panic. Look, I think we just discussed that, right? Yeah, for me, I think it would show more than anything. I think that I'll come back to that in 1 second, actually. Big up to you, DB Forever, always with the super stickers. Really appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very much for all your support on the channel. I think what it would show if we went for Mateta, again, it's a panic. It's putting somebody in instead of Richarlison. Maybe Mateta comes in and Mawani. I don't know. It just screams again. You all heard me say it a million times. Lack of planning or no planning. Guys and girls, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to send you over to the brilliant Jim and Kate over at The Perfect Match. Please get over there. Show them some love. Smash a like. Join in the conversation. They're really good people. Really like their channel. Please subscribe to them as well. Help them get their viewing numbers up. Really appreciate that. Phil Coys coming in with a last minute, a 97th minute super sticker. Really appreciate that. Take care, guys and girls. I'll probably be back tomorrow morning with something, unless there's any news today about Tottenham. Guys, girls, much love. Take care. And as always, no, I'm not on the Spurs 5. I'm not on the Spurs 5 anymore. I'm not on the Spurs 5. It'll be the 4 guys, and then maybe they've got a guest. Take care. Much love. And as always, come on, you Spurs, and start signing some players.